Gosh, this has gone very fast. 2 episodes left. Fuck me sideways with a pitchfork.
And what destroyed the Roman army?
There is a beast of darkness.
It's called the Eater of Light.
Doctor Who on BBC One.
Hi guys, Josh Lowy here with another episode of My Thoughts. Today we're going to continue on to the third last episode of Series 10 of Doctor Who. Series 10, The Eaters of Light. Got that right? Anywho, hope like I said the title right. Again, full of spoilers. But non-spoilery, this was, for me anyway, an okay episode, I think. Because, well, the plot was average at best. Not that I'm saying I hate this episode or anything, I'm just like, out of them all, I think this might be my least favourite, but it doesn't mean there's nothing in it I like. I like a lot of stuff in this episode, it's just the weakest, I think. You know, that's just the way it crumbles. Who knows, maybe when I rewatch it again, it'll be my fave. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So basically the Doctor and Nardil and Bill go back to when the Romans and the Scots were fighting each other in Scotland, more or less, and basically the reason they're there is so that Bill or the Doctor can show each other up to see who knows more about what happened to the Roman Ninth Legion of the Roman Empire, because they're Romans. And yeah, then they just get mixed up in this whole skirmish, more or less, with a monster roaming about, which is an average monster, I think. It's just a killing machine, I suppose, but I don't know, the design is, I guess, cool. I mean, it drains the light, or the force, light force of your body, leaving you basically a husk, getting rid of bones or whatever. So basically it's like a vampire. It's afraid of the sun, well not, it doesn't like sunlight, really, and it likes to drink your blood, more or less, even though it's not blood, it's basically, I don't know what it thinks exactly, but it leaves them as a husk. So, yeah, I guess that's an okay one. Otherwise, the monster is just a monster. It's just like, well, I probably won't remember that. I don't know why the monster in, like, Thin Ice is, like, I wouldn't say necessarily better, but more like, well, I like that monster better, even though it wasn't really a monster, than this monster, which I'm just gonna call the, apparently it's the Light Eater or whatever I think they call it. So, yeah, so we see like some Romans, and they're pretty cool. I think these Romans were dicks. I like that. But I thought there was one character that was going to be like filling in the spot of the dick. This time it's a female. I think her name's Car. But she mellows out in the end, so I wouldn't say she's that character, but I guess she was for a while. Because the first thing she did when she saw Bill, she was like, ah! Then chased her down trying to kill her, because, you know, all those old-time Scots people, always savages, so savage. So yeah, basically the Doctor finds this basically camp of child Scots, who are basically, I don't want to say they're hunting the Romans down, because they're not really hunting. They're more or less trying to kill this monster, those are Romans, because apparently the Ninth Legion was killed by this monster, and that's why they all died or disappeared. And like there's like a small group of young Romans who are basically the last of the regiment that Bill hangs out with, and one has a thing with her, but then she ends up telling him that she's not into guys, she's into girls. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Can we still be friends though? Because I did save your life, you know. Besides, we got one of my other people on my team as who doesn't like girls, they like men. I forget their name. You know, I'm surprised there was a low body count in this, actually. I mean, people do die, but it's not like, well, unless you count the Ninth Legion, which is a huge body count, but we're talking about the deaths that we see on screen. It's not many, actually. It's like maybe 2 or 3 deaths, or maybe 4. Who knows? But yeah, so was gonna have death in an episode. Okay, but there was one Doctor Who episode that had no deaths in it at all. Not in this series. Back all the way to the first Doctor, season 1, in The Edge of Destruction. No one ends up dying in that. They all live happily ever after. It's also one of my favourite Doctor Who stories, believe it or not. Well, especially for Hartnell. And I like Hartnell. I don't have a favourite Doctor, by the way. I like all my Doctors equally. Anyway, back on track. So it all comes down to a big confrontation with the monster and the Romans and the Scots joining forces. Because they're children and they're scared and all that, and the Doctor has one of those great Doctor speeches, but for his version of Capaldi's, where he's basically like, okay, option 1, you guys can kill each other and leave no one standing, or 2, you can grow the hell up, or more or less grow a pair and just team up and try and kill this thing, or not kill it, get rid of this thing, so that no one else has to die. And also there's like this little black bird following Nardil about, or following them about, but Nardil interacts with it the most. And it talks. It keeps on saying like, talk, da, and like saying stuff like, monster. Yeah, they push the monster back through the portal thing, so like the Doctor's plan was to go through there and try and hold him at bay, because if you're in that little portal realm or in that cave when the portal's open for like a few seconds or whatever, when you come out, it's been like, time has passed, like 2 days or maybe 10 years later or something, or centuries later. It could be, it's like something like that. So the Doctor's plan is to go in there because he has a longer lifespan, and so he will leave him at bay until the star will go out or whatever. But then the people are like, no, that's not your destiny, that's not your job, that's our job. So they basically like knock out the Doctor, but he's still conscious, and they go through the portal to hold him off. So technically they die, but then technically not dead, they're still holding them off. But it's like being dead because, well, they might be trapped there for seconds or minutes, but to us it's like they've been gone for a long, long time. And then there's a whole thing with like Car's brother, I forget the name of, and he's like talking to the bird, because apparently the birds, the reason they could talk here is because it's not the future one, because in the future apparently they got stroppy. They had a fallen, I don't know, I forget exactly what it is, but basically they're moaning. But at the end of the episode, the brother was talking to the bird, and he's like, her name was Car, and remember that name always, because she saved us all. And then it's like, Car, and it's like, oh, that's why they say Car. They're not whining or anything, they are remembering. Yeah, that explains why they keep on saying Car. So yeah, the episode comes to a close, but this is why I think the episode almost redeemed itself, and it's the reason to watch it. Because Missy comes back again. I like that we're bringing Missy back ever since the 6th episode. She's been coming back every so often now near the end of the series. I mean, I guess you could argue she's been in since the beginning of the series, ever since episode 1, back with the pilot. But yeah, she comes back. She's in the TARDIS because the Doctor brought her along to do maintenance in the TARDIS, and they have a fun little dialogue thing, which is cool. It's cool to see like Missy helping out the Doctor, and then like obviously Nardil was like pissed, like, why the hell did you let her out? Why? And like the Doctor is trying to teach her still to be good, and then like later on in the episode, because the opening of the episode has these 2 kids on the mountain range where the whole episode basically takes place on, or in that area anyway, in where the portal used to be, and the music if you go there, apparently you could still hear the music and all that. So because they were playing, because apparently they sent musicians through as well, so basically Car goes through, the leader of the Centurions goes through, a friend of the Centurion goes through, I think all the Centurions go through as well, I don't know. But apparently 2 band members went in there as well, so okay. If I was going into an alternate universe, then I was for a place where time and relative dimension space doesn't matter, then I would obviously bring some musicians around. I don't know. And then, like, later on near the end of the episode, we see Missy starting to cry again, and even the Doctor apparently doesn't know what this means, but it might be that they can become friends again, and, like, then the episode ends, and shit, that was a pretty good end. Especially with bringing Missy, because apparently next week, the next episode now, the title should be right here, which apparently we are sending Missy out into the field to see how she fares doing the right thing. But apparently, the nearby planet, because they're on a spaceship or whatever, the nearby planet, get away from a black hole as well, sorry, apparently the next door planet, familiarly known as Mondas. And we see the classic Cybermen. So yeah, apparently the Cybermen are becoming the series finale enemy. And John Sims Masters. I just realized the Cybermen have become the series finale enemy, because I think this is going to be a two-parter, and the Master's involved, or Missy's involved as well. Doesn't that sound kind of familiar to Series 8's finale? Because, like, we had Missy in charge of the Cybermen, and, like, we're going to take over all London. I mean, it's not in London, but it's like... Actually, I guess that can be sort of poetic. I mean, you start with the Cybermen and Missy, and you end with the Cybermen and Missy for both series finales. So I guess that kind of works. But who cares? Because the math is coming back. And then, I guess the Cybermen are coming back as well, which, by the way, is the first Cybermen. I mean, if you haven't seen the 10th Planet, go watch it. It's actually a pretty good episode. It also happens to be the final First Doctor Hartnell stories. So go check it out. It's actually a pretty cool episode. And then go straight to Power of the Daleks. So, yeah, otherwise, this was a good episode. Cannot wait to see what the next episode has to give us. Especially to see if Missy actually stays true and becomes... a good guy, or turns out to be a villain again, or ends up to die, or the above. Who the hell knows? And I wonder if they'll keep John Sim around, or maybe he's just coming back for this finale and that's it. Because I know what the final episode's called, well, at least until the Christmas special, which would make the 13th, the 13th episode. The final episode until Christmas is The Doctor Falls. So. That sounds like, what, is the Doctor gonna die in that one? He's not gonna come back for a Christmas special? What the fuck? But otherwise, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. This was an okay episode. Go check it out. It's on BBC iPlayer right now. Again, I don't know if that's gonna be on Netflix, but Doctor Who is on Netflix, as I keep on saying, so go check it out. Also, go get Series 10 Part 1 to get the first 6 episodes to see what you missed, or just go watch it on BBC iPlayer. Go get a DVD or Blu-ray, who the hell knows. Also, look out for the next DVD coming out for part 2. Yeah, just look out for it. Anywho, post a comment down below. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Is it your favorite thus far? Do you think it was lackluster, average, or whatever? And are you looking forward to next episode where the Cybermen and Master come into all of this? Because I know I sure am. And if you want to know my thoughts on anything else, let me know down below as well. Leave a like, and of course, subscribe to me. I'm Joshua Laurie. Good day and good night. Just like, no, fuck you, y'all. And yeah, they just then there's like a big reveal with the Now, excuse me, my dinner's here.